Welcome to what is unfortunately a very strangely historic day here in the United States, the 6th of January, 2021. I live in Arlington, Virginia, we're right across the street, literally, from a lot of the crazy things that are going on. So for those of you who are joining us today, first of all, I would like to counsel calm and patience. We will pull through this. We will persevere. If you're angry and you're having all of these different emotions, find a constructive way to channel that, to find the change that we need to find to come back together as a nation and as a people. And otherwise, thank you for joining us, because we're going to distract you for the next 45 minutes, not just with that beautiful, sexy man on the other side, our unicorn chef of the evening, Mike Ellis. And I knew that was going to happen. We have decided that his recipe, Chanko Nabe, is actually Chunky Nabe in his name. Y'all know the deal. Put your comments in, share your pictures, hashtag unicorn chef. We want to see what you made. Mike, I think you do have something positive you'd like to put into the world, though, to start with our charity and giving back.
I do. I know tons of people are watching right now because I'm an international celebrity, amazing, humble, and
the most humble.
The most. It's easy to be charitable, and it's easy for places around you like the SPCA to take in volunteers, to have friends with little dogs and little cats. If you don't have money, donate 10 minutes, 15 minutes, walk a dog, play with a cat, have some fun, and just contribute back to the animals that we have. They need us. We need them. They're peaceful. And if you're in Virginia, like Bryson says, hey, man, rough times.
Well, the best way to get through rough times is to drink. So, Mike, what are you drinking?
Chanko Nabe is sumo stew. It's a sumo food. And the sumo, they train extremely, extremely hard, 5-6 hours a day. And they're fat. They're huge. All that training puts on that muscle underneath the fat. So they eat extremely clean, and they drink clean. So all I'm drinking today is just a very basic Massachusetts lager. Nothing special. Just like me, clean and sexy.
In the spirit of things, I am drinking an organic Jinjo Junmai sake.
There you go.
So,
wow.
Kanpai. All right, chef, lead us away.
It's soup. It's simple. I think he's watching. One of my best friends, his name is Steve Pitts. Super great guy. From what I hear, terrible in bed, but that's just me being jealous of his cooking ability. He's like a paper chef, so we growing up, and we as Kevin and Drew and Steve and Luana and Brooke, we grew up watching him cook. And he always cooked in a very concise way, in a very precise way. And we were drinking one night, and he said to me, Mike, being a chef is easy. All you have to do is know what every single thing in the world tastes like, and you can be successful. So I was 110 pounds at that point, and I went on a journey to eat everything I possibly could.
That's one of my goals.
He's a good dude. But, Chanko is simple. You take broth, you put broth in a pot, you bring the broth, add a little bit of water, add a tin of beer, add anything you want for that kind of liquid. You add some hoisin, some oyster sauce, and some soy, and you make it taste the way that you want it to taste. You want it salty, add more soy. You want it sweet, add more hoisin. You want a little bit more fishy, add oyster sauce. It's a very controlled dish for kind of what you want to do. And it's like I said, it's clean. The only fat that's really going into this dish is my knuckles and the pork, the meatballs. So I've had my broth going. I kind of cheated. I've had my broth going for probably about 40 minutes. And I've had meatballs in there swimming for about 30 minutes. But the mixture is, which way? Right or left? It's pork. It's just ground pork. Whole bunch of ginger, whole bunch of garlic, whole bunch of salt, whole bunch of pepper, and the easiest way to tell if you like it is just smell it. It smells good. I like that. I like that smell. You know, very uncomplicated. There's a lot of recipes out there that are, you know, half cup of this and a third a cup of this and, you know, 2 tablespoons of this and 1/8 of a tablespoon of that. And that's why I hate bakers, because they're very precise. And God bless them for being precise, but stop it. Stop it. How are you starting your base?
So I'm cheating. This is my favorite chicken stock. So I the other day, I don't know if you saw, I did a beer can smoked chicken over applewood. And
so good.
typically, if I bake, I roast a chicken, it's really easy to repurpose the carcass into a great stock. I don't like to do that when I smoke it. I find that doesn't translate so well. So my cheat is called Better Than Bouillon.
Okay.
And this is just this fantastic, like, about $5 in the grocery store.
When I'm downstairs working, because I have a very high-powered job, I'm actually a really important person, you know, day to day. You guys probably know that. But Amy, my wife, will make lunch, and she'll take that bouillon. She'll take a simple soup from it, put in like 5 or 6 frozen meatballs, and then bring it downstairs to me so I can have a quick lunch. It's very, very good. Did you get are you going to put in mushrooms or anything like that?
No. So one of my the harshest critic for every chef, of course, is their kids.
Yeah.
And I have a teenage daughter that does not like mushrooms. Anything even like near mushrooms. If I like brought mushrooms in the house, put them downstairs in a vacuum sealed bag, and then cook something upstairs, it would still have upset her wa enough that it would not suffice.
Really?
So there are no mushrooms going into this. I am going to do green cabbage and also Napa cabbage. Some leftover green cabbage that I'm putting in there. More than enough cilantro, because I love cilantro. And then carrot, also with celery from the recipe.
I bought 3 containers of shiitake. Shiitake is a good mushroom because this soup doesn't have to have meat in it. You know, there's plenty of folks out there. I think Dina, who is my boss at work, technically I'm her boss, but she's a massive pain in the ass, who yells at me very frequently, hurts me emotionally. But she doesn't eat meat. This type of stew or this type of soup, a thick mushroom or a good meaty mushroom like shiitake will give you the allure and texture of meat, but no actual meat in it. So for folks like her, mushroom, tofu, even if you want to get all technical and make, you know, how the heck did that happen? Make meatballs from like TVP, you can do that. Have as much fun with it as you want. Do whatever you want. Soup.
So something I'm going to do, and typically I would do this a day in advance, is make a kombu. So you take a particular kind of seaweed, just soak it in that pot of water for a day, take out the seaweed, and then make the broth the next day with what's been leached out of this. I'm going to do the quick man's version of it by boiling it here and getting it out with my broth. But this really just helps get more of that umami kind of going.
I hope Steve is watching my knife control. He would yell at me if I was doing it poorly. So would you yell at me in general?
So what are we having people at home doing to follow along, since you kind of already jumped ahead?
Say that one more time, sir. I'm sorry, it kind of crackled on me.
Yeah, no. So what should people at home be doing right now? So you're kind of ahead of your ingredients. So let's start from ground one.
What I did is I have 5 stalks of celery, 4 onions, and I just cut them up with the mushrooms and just dumped it all in.
All right, so dump all of our grains in?
Everything in the pool.
Everything in.
Everything in the pool. That's why this is so great, because very uncomplicated. And I will say, if you want to be, if you're kind of a texture eater and you want to have, your carrots and your onions in a crunchy kind of way, you can pace these kind of things out as the stock is boiling to have the texture fit your palate as perfectly as possible. There's nothing wrong with that. But this soup, honestly, is better tomorrow. After it has 24 hours to kind of marry up and chill out. It's beautiful. Can't go wrong.
Did you just say when the soup has time to chill out?
Yeah.
Like, give it some Prozac, just let it like clean back with a glass of Chardonnay.
I don't think there's anything wrong with Prozac and a Chardonnay if you're a soup.
Oh, but you're too good for that kind of soup.
I've put much dirtier things in my mouth. Much.
Yeah, definitely not touching that.
Much dirtier. No, I'm kidding. That's terrible. Back when I was in the seminary. No, that's a lie.
All right, so we're bringing our broth up to a boil with everything in it. Kind of more like an Asian mirepoix.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Now what?
It's time to chill. It's time to relax.
Well, someone's got to make meatballs, man.
Yeah, okay. Let's make some meatballs. So I've already made mine. So I'm going to show you again in the very bottom of it. It's pork. Inside the pork, you put shaved ginger, or rasped ginger, rather, very thin, salt, pepper, onion powder, fresh garlic, and you mix it up into a point that it's, smells good. It smells fantastic. So after you have everything in the pool, you take a small piece or a big piece or a medium-sized piece, whatever you want. Roll it up like you would any other meatball, and just gently drop it in the broth. You're counting on the broth to kind of cook the meatball for you, and that's why there's no breadcrumbs in this recipe at all.
Okay, so your meatballs are ginger and ground pork and ground beef.
Yeah, ginger, ground pork, ground beef, fresh garlic, salt, pepper, and cilantro.
Okay. So I actually I forgot to get my ginger today, but I have lemongrass.
That's solid. Yeah, you'll be fine with that for sure. That's nice and acidic anyways. Because it's, the vegetables definitely season it. But the primary flavors are going to be coming from your initial mixture, your hoisin, your oyster sauce, and your soy. And I'm sorry to say the meat that you put into it. If you put a tofu into it, it's going to be tasty. It's going to be delicious. But it's going to carry on a little bit more characteristics of the stock rather than the meat. And that's cool for a lot of people. Can't go wrong with that. Me, because I'm a carnivore and very much an alpha male, if you can't tell, I require protein. So I was actually snacking on this meatball mixture earlier. I froze it like a meat sickle and was just chewing on it like a tiger.
Yeah, I think of you, I think of tigers. It's literally the first thing that came to mind. So I'm glad that you made sure everybody knew what your spirit animal was. Do you want to point out that while there was not a real outcry about the tofu, the lack of breadcrumbs in the meatballs definitely upset our Italian friend, Audrey.
What? She's Scottish. She's not Italian. No, I'm kidding. She's going to kill me for that, but I love her. The reason why there's no breadcrumbs is because when you're cooking it inside the liquid gets absorbed into the breadcrumb and it'll pull the meatball apart. So you want to keep that meatball as compact as possible.
Yeah.
Like breadcrumbs.
Yeah, great point. So like breadcrumbs help make it airy. So I want fluffy things to come up like this. This is actually more like the keep it dense, has to stay together while it boils. There is, if you've ever made matzo balls, though, you can in fact have airy Airy balls. That sounds funny.
That comes after beer number 4.
It can be done. And matzo balls are made completely with a particular kind of flour, matzo flour. So there might be a way to do this with breadcrumbs and make it interesting.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I haven't done it. I would. I'll try anything. I'll put anything in my mouth. I don't care.
You're really fond of saying that.
When I took my wife at the time, girlfriend, back to Canada to meet my friends and family, the resounding message that she got from everybody was never ever challenge Mikey to a duel, or never ever say I dare you, because he'll just do it. And part of those I dare yous is it's actually Steve's fault, and it's my cousin Kevin's fault. They're great guys, but very terrible influences. Terrible. Kevin's a good dude. He would on birthdays, he started off a tradition that. Have you ever drank a Prairie Fire?
What is that?
It is tequila and Tabasco.
Why would I drink that?
So it's the best way to put it. Stupid. On somebody's birthday, it's a good way to ruin their experience. It's so funny too, because you're young. You're like, oh, we're gonna have this amazing shot. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be awesome. And it's Prairie Fire. And then you're trying to like sport up on some chick when you're like 21, and you're like, oh, I'm schooled. I'm pre-med, baby. I'm gonna be a doctor. And then acid reflux hits you.
You were pre-med?
No,
nobody was buying that. That's why I challenged you.
I think I was pre-med in the sense that I like to wear white shirts. I don't know if that's a thing. Or
you liked white shirts because you're not good enough.
Yes. Yeah. That was
this like camouflage? Were you trying to be like pitch something to Canadian DARPA? Like I've solved invisibility?
Yes. Yeah, I did solve invisibility. I did. So I'm Canadian, but I live in the U.S. and I have a green card and all that kind of fun stuff, whatever. But when I first moved to Illinois, the first thing I did is I bought a whole shitload of Illinois sports teams, because I'm not a sports guy. Why do you think I'm cooking Chanko Nabe? You know, fat guys like me, we look up things on the internet of people that are fatter than us to learn what they're doing to not get as fat as them. So, you know, that's where Chanko kind of flies into it, because the dude who made this, Bayamba, man, he's a scary dude. But he weighs more than I do. Fatty. So, so I buy a whole bunch of just sports, Chicago Bears, and my wife will laugh at me because, well, now that I'm in New England, I buy Patriots, you know, because it's New England. I didn't even know there was another sports team in Boston. I had no idea. Somebody's like, Mike, you ever heard of the Bruins? And I'm like, no. Like, you're Canadian. How do you not like hockey? I'm like, there's a reason I was kicked out. I mean, I left Canada. You know, it's hockey related. So yeah,
do you have like your Canadian card ripped up or something? Are you not allowed to drink Molson?
Oh, so fighting words. Molson is beautiful.
Yeah, well, apparently you don't like hockey, so I mean, you're really interesting on like what you're picking is like your levels here. I mean, we're just chilling, right? We're just chilling.
No, of course. I actually like Labatt's. I do. Labatt's 50. It's like old granddad pee-pee. It's like the beer you want to drink when you want to get in a fist fight with the closet.
It's like Tim Hortons at 3 a.m.
I call that stuff Timmy Ho-Hos. I think my sister's watching. She's the one that taught me Timmy Ho-Hos, because she was a massive ho-ho back in the day. I expect to see a text message on that.
Hey, come on, man. She's 13.
She's been married for 150 years. Oh, my buddy Drew says, me. Me. She's been married to Ken. At her wedding, we're you know, all sitting down, and I was in her husband's wedding party. Oh, and sorry, just while we're on the subject of Chanko Nabe, when you stir, don't stir rough, just stir gentle. You don't want to break up your meatballs. But so we're waiting for her to come down the aisle.
Wait, you're saying you want to bust your balls?
Yeah, don't. What? Did you just? I'm offended. That was awful. I would never bust your balls. I would, though, dip them in Chanko Nabe.
You were saying?
So we're waiting at her wedding, and she's getting ready to come down the aisle, and pins and needles, and oh my God, it's so fantastic and so beautiful. And the DJ starts playing "Hey Mickey," so we're expecting to hear some Beethoven-esque, and all you hear is "Hey Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind, hey Mickey." So I started dancing. I thought that was appropriate. Nobody else did, though. People were kind of horrified. And then at the reception, her now husband had made claim and looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "Mike, I married the wrong Ellis." So we have a fun relationship. And in case you're wondering what I did, I just put some bok choy in the soup, a little bit more. I'm getting I like to have the pot really thick, really overflowing with veg.
I am waiting for my broth to get to a boil so I can do my first taste test to see where I'm at. I haven't added anything significant other than the base vegetables. That's pretty much it.
You know what I'm doing right now, Bryson?
What are you doing right now?
I have leftover meatball mixture. So I've heated up a pan. And I've put some olive oil into that pan. And it's giving me a nice smoke right away, so I'm going to take it off.
Rib thinks that the name of this dish is chocolate nabe.
Rob. This glove is for you, Rob. I'm coming. You're not going to be, but I am. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. That sounds much more dirty than I intended it to be, but it makes sense.
In hindsight, I should have introduced this particular episode as rated R.
I don't have many followers.
So now, having thought about this backwards. Clearly, this is where this was going. I knew how this evening would go. So many people have hung out with Mike, and they're like, I knew where this evening was going to go. You hit that point, and you're like, I knew it. I agreed. I just, you don't expect it, but it happened.
It does. I'm consistently consistent. Just going to turn that guy down.
So how's that restraining order going?
Which one? I mean, that's kind of a broad question. I mean, there's a few, but let's be honest.
The one with the Girl Scouts.
Say that one more time.
The one with the Girl Scouts.
Oh. I made an arrangement last year to buy a whole bunch of ding-dongs. I think that's a cookie. I know what it is. And it's fine. They're a little bit more understanding than they need to be. But I think that's fair. Oh, Adobe. I have to update my Adobe. Seems safe.
Hey, Flash got discontinued on the 31st.
It's crazy. Yeah, I'm taking my meatballs and I'm making a patty out of them.
You're making a patty?
Yeah, just take the meat like a hamburger patty, fry it off on both sides. Good. I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
The best part about being the chef, you can cook whatever, you can eat whatever you want.
That's true.
What are you doing? You got like the hand claw going on?
Yeah, I've got the hand claw because I don't want to wash my hands right before I have to put them back in to make my meatballs and throw them in my boiling broth.
Fair.
So I do not recall hearing where the rice went in all of this.
Yeah. 1 cup. And if I could say one thing about rice, people overthink rice so hard. I looked up a recipe for rice, which is hilarious. But after I found out about this person's life and their college experience and how they feel about Suzuki as a vehicle and how the Subarus handle, it's 1 cup of rice and a cup and a half of water. You can let it boil and then turn it off. It's not that hard. Jesus, just rice. You know what? You ever watch that what's that guy? Uncle Eddie or something or other? He's like the Vietnamese guy that was criticizing the Indian lady cooking rice. It's very funny. Look it up on the internet. What is the internet?
Okay, so we're just gonna boil our rice like normal rice.
Just normal rice, white rice. Little bit sticky, a little bit soft.
I walked into that one.
It's not my fault. I try to be as good as I can be.
So what do you do when you're not spending all day just being ridiculously good looking?
You know, this is a fun conversation because I'm actually not in the tech space. I don't work directly in the tech space. I work adjacent to the tech space in credit. I started off my career doing security. I did concert security, and that was a lot of fun. And I worked a lot with a lot of big name bands, and I helped my buddies sneak into concerts by exposing the weaknesses of the venues that I was working at. But it was kind of unfulfilling, and I was on the road quite a bit, and it's good money 6 months of the year, and then you're broke. So I find myself, being a bouncer in a strip bar and hoping to God I get tips at the end of the night. So I responded to an ad in a newspaper to collect delinquent cell phone debt. That was fun. It's interesting. And then, in order to be efficient, you have to have kind of an acumen for tech and to be able to use tech. And I developed a pretty good acumen for using it. So I figured I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get accounting, and I'm going to get programming. So I did Java, and I did HTML, which is a programming language. If anybody listening disagrees with me, they're more than welcome to disagree. But I'm eventually going to meet you, and we're going to sumo fight. So I did that, and I found that going into kind of a finance role with having an extremely strong background in tech made it so I could take efficiencies and inefficiencies, and I can put them in such a way that either I can have tech manage it specifically, or I can implement and train tech onto people to be stronger. So being in the credit industry, we're all familiar with certain breaches and certain hacks that I won't name because I don't want to get you sued. It made sense to be more InfoSec aware, and I think that's a pretty cool space. I'm pretty good on a computer. I know how to right click, and I've been able to start and stop one at will. At will. But yeah, I do credit, so I'm probably the wrong person to mess with, because I will send you a spreadsheet so complicated in formula, it can blow your mind.
So let me see if I get this straight. You opened up with your beefy qualls of being pretty much a glorified bouncer.
Yeah.
You threatened everybody that you will sumo wrestle them in person if they disagree with your view of a programming language. Ended with the white collar threat of, I'm really just going to macro you through an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. That's basically me in a nutshell.
And I mean, it was almost funny. So like, definitely you in a nutshell.
I like that. I'm 46 years old, and that whole display that I
You
just
didn't
put on
look a day over 45.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You don't look a day over. Shut your face.
Come down here and sumo wrestle me to that.
When all the shenanigans is over, probably going to happen.
It will. It's actually, you're right. This will happen in 2022. We won't be doing a cooking episode. Mike and I are going to be throwing down at 3 a.m. outside of Timmy Ho-Ho's.
Can you imagine? That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun. In fact, we'd probably not be throwing down. We'd just be drunk cooking at 3 in the morning wherever we are. which is my favorite way to do everything.
You know, we should take, so in, you know, the donut holes, whatever they call them, munchkins, I think they're on at Dunkin's. At Tim Hortons, they're called Timbits.
Timbits?
Yeah, Timbits. I think it'd be fun to take Timbits, smush them down, put like a Bailey's Irish cream or something like that, maybe a little bit more binder, and make a fun little cake out of it. So fattening.
Oh, come on, Boyle. Get in there.
I'm boiling away. I'm in good shape.
Yeah, you are started boiling before me. I will not make any other comment about shape.
What? Fair. Okay. I'm with you.
But you're not with me.
So with your hands like, have you ever thought about clapping?
I'm not doing that right now.
I keep expecting you to turn around and do like something like this.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'll be kidding. Turn my beard into a biological weapon.
Kind of cool. But the kind of way that you just kind of approach that, you kind of look like a wolf spider. Like that's in really good shape. No?
The following how I'm like a wolf spider.
No, when you did this, you're like, rah.
Oh, that was a wolf spider? I was actually feeling more Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay. I used to smoke weed when I was a kid.
You stopped?
I mean, I used to smoke weed yesterday too. It's illegal out here though, so we have to be very cautious and make sure that people understand that.
Oh, nobody's watching this. Don't worry.
Good. Is there nobody on?
There's nobody on. I'm kidding. There are people watching, dude. I was just
scared me because I was about to take my clothes off. So.
Oh no, my ego was crushed. People weren't watching me perform.
Okay, so rice has come to a boil. That's the most complicated part. Putting the lid on and turning it off. It's crazy. Rice is so hard to make. People overthink it's crazy.
You know, the real reason I can't wait to wash my hands is because I would love to drink. And I have not been able to drink for about 20 to 30 minutes.
So how is your water? Do you have a temperature gauge?
A temperature gauge for what?
To test your water.
It's boiling.
See if you're fertile. I mean.
It's boiling.
Okay. No, you're yelling at me again. I'm going to turn this off. I'm scared. Oh, look at this.
I mean, all I got to get just short of a rolling boil, and I am good to go.
My patty is made. I would normally call the wife up so she can have some, but she's been trying to fight me a little bit lately, so I don't know if I'm going to let her. Turn you. You're good.
All right. I am now handsy. Or handy. Or both.
Taste test confirmed. That is delicious. Coming along well. So how long are you going to grow this beard for, Bryson? Let's be honest.
Actually, it's going to get cut off any day now. I just actually I did the charity fundraiser. I don't know what the numbers are. We raised a few $1,000s. I got a number of different ideas on how to cut it all off.
Yep.
For those of you at home who really want to participate in this, the only requirement is that you did something volunteer or to charity. You can follow up with Mike or me, and I will get it to you. And so what I've been trying to do is, since I spent a year growing this out, is figuring out what's the right order to accommodate as many different things as I can.
Oh, different styles.
And, I've been paralyzed by that while having to deal with all of the other busy things that I have to do.
Okay.
Finally I get to take a drink.
Cheers, brother.
So if you have not voted yet, you still have a chance to, get me where you want.
Okay. Can I don't want this to sound weird, but can I buy the hair after you trim it off? Is that possible?
I am actually surprised how many people have asked me if they can have the hair. I'm not actually kidding. There have been multiple people who have reached out to me and be like, so like,
Really?
Can I have the beard hair? And I'm like, no, you can't.
I was literally trying to think of like the most ridiculous, weird thing to say, and that's the only thing I could come up with. Wow.
The perils of D-list celebrity is I get the crazies.
Well, better you than me, bro.
You're working your way there.
Trying. Twitter's a fun space, man. It's a weird space. Liger says if I take my clothes off, he's going to screenshot it. Like I haven't got naked for you 100 times, bro. Come on. Stop it.
I also did a little different. I used a little rice vinegar.
Smart. You know, it's a good ad, too, that I never put in is sesame oil at the very end.
Yeah, I do. So when I make pho, I use sesame oil. I'm actually out from the last time I made it. And then also, since I know you like spice, you're so spicy, is chili infused sesame oil. It's fantastic.
Really? That sounds extremely tasty. My wife can smell it, and I just saw her walk by. So
she walking by, she's like,
"How do I steal some of that?" It'd be fun if she did that, actually.
Yeah, she could come back on the show. She was part of the pre-show banter. She made more fun of Mike than I did.
That's actually true. She deserves it, though. She puts up with shenanigans from me. Sweetheart.
Oh, this is your burger amuse-bouche.
Yeah, this is the patty the patty amuse-bouche. Wait. If you want sauce, it's over there.
All right, this is my first test of my broth because I'm an hour behind you.
Oh my goodness.
Good.
You're outdone yourself. Crunchy on the outside.
Has he outdone himself?
Extra ginger for me.
Say it again, Bryce.
No, she needs to speak into the microphone. Get close to him like you love him.
Hi.
Yum, this is good.
Oh, it was delicious. Absolutely perfect. I can't wait to try it with the broth too. Well, no, I want to save it. Save my appetite for when we have the full meal. No, luckily. Are you behaving yourself? I've been checking in a little bit.
Am I behaving myself?
No, Amy, the FCC has already contacted me. I'm going to be taken off the air afterwards because of this.
You're going to be taken off the air, babe. I don't blame them.
Suddenly, the Unicorn Chef Cooking Show is now like part of the Section 230 debate.
I'm sorry, it's what?
The Section 230 debate about how internet providers are supposed to be controlling content for different purposes. Mike was not offensive, but like strangely political at the same time. It was this weird amalgamation.
He does toe that line.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm taking my pants off in 5 seconds.
Well, if you just stand right here, then maybe no one will see you from the waist down if you want to take your pants off.
Yeah. Did you get me in trouble? Be honest.
Me?
Yeah.
Never.
You know, I believe you because I trust you, but I don't believe you.
Well, then don't trust me.
How was your taste test?
It was amazing. The folks at home would like to know why you're wearing safety glasses. I told him it was actually to protect us.
Back in the day, I used to work for Space Force before it was announced, and it was an island with Lieutenant Ripley, and there were some aliens and blood, and the only way I could get through it was wearing these goggles. And these are Harley Davidson glasses, actually. How dare you say safety goggles? Who said that? Beat them.
Steve H.
Unreal. I don't know who that is, but you sound cool. No, I know who it is.
Look, I mean, I understand that science fiction and fantasy lets us go to a world that we can pretend.
Fair.
No one's buying that you were either a space marine or a scientist. You have qualifications for neither. Come up with a more believable story. I was walking by a dumpster and I put them on. Like, I mean, something along that vein. Like, it's gritty, it's real, it's believable.
I wasn't walking by the dumpster. I was actually living in it, but it was lovely.
See, that's not believable either because you have such a lovely wife.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I feel bad for her because she had to marry down. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? You married up. Balance it out.
And I can say stuff like that because she's downstairs and she won't beat me. She'll beat me because she's probably watching right now.
She'll beat you because you like it.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Right, my buddy just texted me, and Jillian, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. We have a 9-month-old son. And his
Congratulations again.
Thank you, buddy. His name is Sean. He's cool. And Jillian was lamenting. Jillian's actually with child, but she's lamenting on the fact that Amy looks amazing, which is true, but that's because of me. I don't let her, eat. Woo! Is this on a delay?
No, there's not. Just Geek Steve is not so happy you forgot that you know who he is.
But I'm going to dox this guy so bad right now. He lives at Epcot Center. He's a Mickey impersonator at a local strip bar in Medley, Florida. It's a true story.
How do you live at the Epcot Center?
Fair. I didn't think about that.
I mean, you're impersonating, which means like you like. It was good. It was good. You just had some holes. It's all right, kid. I can work with you. I can train you. Clearly, there's enough to mold. I can mold it. If not, you'll just enjoy it while I do it.
Steve is a jerk too. We have a little group of friends and rah. And, he tells on people. He's a snitch.
Doesn't he live near you?
Yeah. He's actually I don't want to dox the guy too bad, but his address is 1313. So, yeah, no, he's in the same state for sure. He's probably about a half hour away.
Yeah, I mean, he actually was in the military though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I didn't know.
Excel macro him. Like, what's your game plan here?
Mine with him?
Yeah, I mean, you're ramping up the temperature.
Say that one more time. You broke up.
I said you're ramping up the temperature. You're starting to talk a big game.
Well, Steve is actually very scary to me because military guys, for one, are bad. Especially when I think he won the Congressional Fluffer Medal of Honor. I think
we just call it the Medal of Fluffer.
The Medal of Fluffer. I didn't know that.
MOF.
So he won that, and I think his call sign was Velvet Lips, something or other. I don't know. I haven't been in the military for ever. He's gonna be so mad at me for saying that stuff.
Yeah, he already is. He's in the chat.
I love you, Steve.
Hold on, wait. I'm coming over. I think he's on his way.
Fair.
The good news is, hey, Steve, the good news is after you kick his ass, you can eat a delicious meal because it tastes really good.
You know, honestly, with a broken jaw, soup is actually still very tasty. So,
Did you plan this? Were you ready?
yeah. Ooh, how's your taste? How's your taste?
I'm very happy.
It's good, eh?
Shortly.
It's a simple soup. It's complicated in the sense of timing or of time. But wait till tomorrow, man. Tomorrow for breakfast, or if you wake up in the middle of the night and you want to watch, Family Guy and eat 6,000 or 7,000 calories, it's a good way to start. Oh, rice is done.
Yeah, I am. I'm ready to serve whenever you are.
Okay. Let me just get my cilantro.
Yeah, I just threw the leftover fresh cilantro in because you don't want to have that cooked the whole time.
No.
So just throwing it in at the end to get a little bit of a fresh tang on top.
Oui. Let's do this. My wife is actually growing fresh cilantro, but I think she'd be offended if I took it. Sharp knife, can't go wrong. Jacques Pepin said, "A sharp knife is a pleasure to cook with."
That is true.
Let's do this.
It is always nice to let the tools do the work.
Amen. Amen. Speaking of which, you're a big golfer, are you not?
I am not a big golfer, but I do golf.
Okay. What's your handicap?
Very high.
Nothing wrong with that. You enjoy it. That's what counts.
Yeah. No, I'm. What I like best about golfing is you can't get a DUI on a golf course.
Can you imagine how much money the police would make if they could pass out DUIs in a golf course?
Are you a big golfer?
Yeah. I love golfing. I don't like being honest when I golf because it's a lot more fun that way when people doubt you.
No, I enjoy the game. Like, I like to just play. With people, it really works well for me to not take it seriously, and fortunately, my level of talent helps me do that. So that keeps me grounded. Oh, that looks so very good.
So this is the way that I play. You can play it any way you want. I take cabbage tops, which is just fresh cabbage, uncooked, completely uncooked, or even the tops of bok choy, so it's super thin, rabbity kind of food. A little bit on the bottom. Take a little portion of rice. Don't overwhelm the rice. Maybe enough for 2 measured tablespoons for you bakers out there. I hate you. Two meatballs. I wouldn't go more than 2. And the reason I wouldn't go more than 2 is because you want to come back for seconds.
I did 2.5. You're not my mother.
2.5 is perfect. A little bit of carrot on top, make it pretty. Little cilantro, tappy. Nothing crazy. And I personally, I just give it a second with the cabbage on the bottom. Let it kind of steep.
Well, let me know when you're ready for our closing picture. How we end every episode is we take a picture together.
I'm ready.
You got to get in there with it. On your knees.
Hi, Daddy. Sorry, I'm not very technically sound.
Boom. All right. Mike, thank you for being definitely one of our more colorful unicorn chefs that we've had on the show.
Appreciate that.
And if you could highlight again how you would like people to do their good part back into the world.
Go to your local SPCA, walk a dog, play with a cat. If you have the means in order to donate some money, donate some money. It's a wonderful cause. If you can adopt an animal, but contribute back. Also, I'm wearing a green shirt, so if you wanted to green screen anything on here that you can, like your brand or your local, I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to earn some money and buy me an ATV. So
share what you cook at home, #UnicornChef, and we will see you next week.
Oh my God.
Stay safe.
Bye.